Dear students, welcome to this video, which is a presentation of the course that I am teaching in the University of Real Menturi Constantine 1. The course is entitled Becoming an Active Learner. The course starts with a presentation and objectives. Then it is followed with an introduction. It is divided into three main parts. Part 1 is active learning. Part 2 is about the paradoxes of creative learning. And part 3 is mainly about the setting impact. Then we move to the conclusion where we find some reviewing ideas. Now you may ask yourselves, what is this course? This course presentation introduces becoming an active learner, the first chapter of the study skills module. It is designed for first-year English students and teaches effective learning strategies to improve their academic performance and help them succeed. Regarding the objectives of this course, the course aims to improve understanding, build critical thinking, increase motivation and confidence, strengthen communication skills, improve academic performance, and finally encourage creativity and innovation. Now, what is meant by becoming an active learner? Being an active learner means taking responsibility for your learning by participating, asking questions, and thinking critically. It helps you understand lessons better, build confidence, and develop useful skills for school and everyday life. The first part of this course is entitled Active Learning. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to define active learning, explain why active learning is effective, identify common active learning strategies, and apply active learning techniques to improve their own studying. Why is active learning is important? The course is significant for it helps students to understand concepts more deeply, remember information for a longer time, develop critical thinking skills, improve communication and teamwork, become more motivated and independent learners. Research has shown that students who actively engage with the material generally learn more effectively than those who only passively receive information. Coming to active learning, the teacher's role is the following. The teacher serves as a facilitator, a guide, a coach, and a motivator. Instead of giving all the answers, the teacher encourages students to explore, discuss, and discover knowledge. Now we come to the student's role. Students are expected to participate actively, ask questions, collaborate with others, take responsibility for their learning, and reflect on their own progress. The second part of this course is known as the paradoxes of creative learning. Creative learning often involves tensions that seem contradictory at first, but are actually productive. These paradoxes highlight why creativity is difficult to teach and develop. Now, let us investigate some creative paradoxes together. First, knowledge versus novelty. Deep knowledge of a subject provides the foundation for creative thinking. However, too much reliance on existing knowledge can make it harder to think in new ways. Second, failure versus success. Creative learning requires taking risks and making mistakes. Yet many educational systems reward only correct answers, discouraging experimentation. 3. Individual thinking versus collaboration. Original ideas often emerge during solitary reflection, while those ideas are strengthened, refined, and expanded through collaboration and feedback. 4. Persistence versus flexibility. Creative learners need persistence to overcome challenges. However, they also need flexibility to abandon ineffective approaches and try new ones. We carry on with the creative paradoxes. Number 5, confidence versus humility. Confidence encourages learners to express unconventional ideas, while humility allows them to accept criticism and continue improving. 6, play versus discipline. Playfulness encourages imagination and innovation, However, discipline is needed to develop ideas into meaningful, high-quality outcomes. Number 7. Divergent versus convergent thinking. Divergent thinking generates many possible solutions, yet convergent thinking evaluates and selects the most effective solutions. 8. Curiosity versus focus. Curiosity drives exploration across many possibilities, while focus enables learners to develop one promising idea in depth. The final paradox is teaching versus discovery. Teachers provide guidance, resources, and support, while genuine creative learning occurs when learners discover insights for themselves rather than simply receiving information. Significance. Why do these paradoxes matter? Rather than choosing one side of each paradox, effective creative learning balances both. For example, successful classrooms encourage both freedom and structure, value both knowledge and innovation, and treat mistakes as opportunities for learning, while maintaining high expectations for quality. The ability to navigate these opposing forces is the key characteristics of creative thinkers and lifelong learners. The first part of this course is entitled Setting Impact. The impact of setting on study performance refers to how the physical and social environment where someone studies affects concentration, learning, memory, and productivity. Now, how setting influences study performance? First, on the noise level. Quiet environments help improve concentration and reduce distractions, while excessive noise can interrupt focus and make it harder to retain information. Second, lighting. Good lighting, especially natural light, reduces eye strain and helps maintain alertness. However, poor lighting can cause fatigue and decrease reading efficiency. 3. Comfort. A comfortable chair and desk promotes good posture and reduce physical discomfort. Yet an uncomfortable setting can lead to frequent breaks and reduced productivity. 4. Temperature. Moderate room temperatures generally support better concentration, yet rooms that are too hot or too cold can reduce attention and cognitive performance. 5. Organization. A clean and organized study space minimizes distractions and makes it easier to find materials. However, clutter can increase stress and reduce focus. Availability of resources. Easy access to books, notes, computers, and internet resources supports efficient studying. Yet, limited resources may interrupt the learning process. The final influence of study performance is social environment. Studying alone may benefit tasks requiring deep concentration. However, group study can improve understanding through discussion, provided the group stays focused. Now we come to the final thoughts. A well-designed study setting, quiet, comfortable, well-lit, organized, and free from unnecessary distractions, can significantly improve concentration, motivation, and academic performance. Choosing an appropriate study environment is an important strategy for achieving better learning outcomes. To conclude, we can say becoming an active learner is a valuable step toward achieving academic and personal success. By asking questions, participating in discussions, practicing regularly, and taking responsibility for our own learning, we develop a deeper understanding and stronger critical thinking skills. Active learning not only improves knowledge, but also builds confidence, curiosity, and a lifelong love of learning. At the end of this video, I would like to thank you for your attention.